G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing well. About doing a bit of ferreting again as usual, and I'm just cleaning up a little bit of obstruction that can get caught up in the net. Got 8 ferrets out with me today. Jess and Tess, Grace and Chase, Trixie, Lagatha and the General, and Tilly. So that's who I brought out with me today. Probably going to use the General and Tilly first. Tilly was a little bit disappointing last time I came out, so I thought I might use her. And her father, who was the General, who is now a cup buck, I've got him out here as well. I'll be putting those two in first, father and daughter. I've also got Spike, who is the General's full brother, but I kept him as a whole buck for breeding purposes. Phil used to own the General and he bred him when he owned him before he got him cut. And then after he bred him, he got him cut, so he's now a cup buck, and I got him back. So I'll use those two first. Bit of a burrow in here, over here, where Fleet is, so I'm just going to put the long net around this one. And there's also another burrow there, and I'll probably put the long net around that one too. So I'll set all the long nets up first, and then I'll do this burrow, then just move across. So if they do happen to get out of the net, hopefully they'll try and run to that burrow there and we'll back net them in the long net. So I have been doing this area on and off a little bit over the last month, here and a few other places, but these two burrows I've left them for a little while, so I'm going to get onto them today. So that's what I'm up to today. Beautiful day guys, 18 degrees, birds are singing, sun shining, so it should be a nice sort of day. A little bit of a breeze, so it'll be good. So this stretches, comes out under that tree over there and over that way as well. So anyway, I'll get set up and get back to you. Just finished setting up the long net on this second burrow. It comes out down here somewhere. So I just ran the long net to this point, and then from this bank they can still run off and jump off the side, but will they? I'm not sure. But just got it going all the way around out behind that tree and back over to here. So this will be the second burrow I'm doing. Not that many holes. I could have netted it up with purse nets if I wanted to. Another hole just there. I think there was one. Yeah, that hole. So it's not all that big. It's only a 50-yard long net all the way around. And same with the other one. So they're not real big burrows. And I haven't seen anything run in them. But you know, if I get 1 or 2 out of each burrow, I'll be happy. Beautiful day to be out, standing out, listening to the birds. Bit of a breeze through the trees. Left Zip at home today. She's had an injury for quite some time, and I took him out for a bit of a walk the other day, chasing a few rabbits without any ferrets and nets, and she re-injured that injury. So she wanted to come, but she was just a little bit too sore. So normally I rest her up for 3 or 4 days, and then she's good for a little while, but she'll carry that the rest of her life. The joys of owning running dogs. Alright, so I've got to get the General and Tilly out of here. It looks like the General, is it? Yep. I'm not sure which one Tilly is. Huh. No, that's not her. That's not her. I can tell because she's got a cropped tail. That's her. So this is father and daughter. The mother of one of these is Phil's Cackly Doe, and a half sibling to Jess and Tess. So it's father and daughter. You can see the similarities, can't you? Alright. Here goes Tilly. General's having a bit of a sniff. He's come really good, the General. Not in a hurry. Off he goes. It was very hard to get the long nets through all this stuff. A lot of sticks on the ground I had to move. Same on the other one. It's Tilly. And I was a bit disappointed with Tilly last time I took her out. She did a fair bit of this sort of thing, in and out. So I brought her out today just to give her a little bit more experience. Bloody Lagatha. Maybe it's not Lagatha. I'd be surprised if it isn't though. I'm going to move her. You can go in there by yourself. Real bully legs. So it's not actually a really small burrow. It's like Tilly. Stretches about 25 yards that way. Tilly back down, so she's hunting a bit better today, Tilly. Last time I brought her out she was very in and out. Like she'd come out of the burrow and didn't want to go back down. But like ferrets are like people though, they have their better days. I've had some really good ferrets, and some days for whatever reason, you know, they might have a sore spot you can't see or a headache or whatever. We can't see that, and they'll have off days. Just like people. And I was talking to Phil about it, who bred her. And his Cackly Doe is very good, and Spike, who I bred all mine, that's all the young, my cut bucks are out of Spike, and so is Storm, and they're all working really good. So you got two full brothers. And we know the General's good because I'm using him, as you can see. You've seen him work enough. Out of Phil's Doe, who is already renowned. Like he's had her for quite some time. She's getting old now. So you've got those two which are proven mother and father, and I've got half siblings to Tilly as well. But anyway, for those that have been following me for quite some time, you'll remember Willow. And the first year she was a lot like this. She was only just good enough to hang on to. But coming into her second year, she was bloody fantastic, mate. And as you can see now, like she come out of the hole and she just walks away, so it's not really a good thing. But she might just need a couple of kills underground. just to spark her enthusiasm. And then you got other ferrets that go from day one, like most of mine, but Willow was my best ferret for 2 years. For about 4 years she was my mainstay ferret, and the line I chose to breed at that stage of the program. And first year she was nothing special, that's for sure. Very much like this ferret. And then all of a sudden, like she had a litter of kits. And then after the litter of kits, I don't know what happened to her. She just was like chalk and cheese. She was just 100 times better ferret. And during the course of her second year, she became my best ferret. She's actually working, but once she comes out, she doesn't really charge back down. So I'm just going to give her a head and hoo 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 hoo. That's why the general's taken so long. Oh. A few kits in there. And this sort of burrow with those kits is a perfect burrow to train that ferret. Not that I like killing the kits all that much, because they're pretty young, these kits. Not quite half grown. Move, Fleet, move, move. Well, she came out and went straight back down, and that's what happens. You get these young rabbits, when they start running in front of the ferret, by instinct they start chasing them, and that improves their enthusiasm for next time. There's one. Oh, got him. Good boy, Fleet. Good boy, Fleet. Into me. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. As you can see, they're kits. Move. You see now, if she's been chasing him, she'll go, move, Fleet. She should go back down. Move, Fleet. Move. Move. Yeah. And that's normally all it takes. I can tell just by how she was then that she's been chasing him on the ground. She may not be catching and grabbing him, but you can tell she's been chasing them. Woo! Good boy, Fleet. Right, mine. Came out, had a look, back down. So that's good. Our dog can hear something. And that's generally what happens. The ferrets will kill the kids first, and then they normally start chasing out the bigger ones. There's the general, and Tilly with him. And see, she's working a lot better now. So this is a good burrow to illustrate what I'm talking about. Like you've seen before, how she was walking out and just didn't even want to go back down, but then after she chases a couple underground, she's straight back down. That's why I was saying it's a good type of burrow for training ferrets. So if you got young ferrets and you're just starting out, just try and go back over this video and listen to what it is that I'm trying to explain. I may not be getting my point across as well as I should, but if you watch the video and try and see what's happened with this ferret just on this burrow, you'll see a marked improvement from when I first put her in and how she was in the last video compared to already and every other time I work her today. She'll have a sparked enthusiasm. If they're going to be any good. If they're not, they won't. They'll be just in and out with no enthusiasm their entire life, which is rare in a ferret. You don't get many ferrets that won't work at all. But with her bloodlines, she should be okay. With the ferret she's been bred with, she should be okay. So she's going a bit better now, Phil. I was speaking to Phil and Graham about her in the last couple of days. Graham's got a new buck for me that I'm picking up this week. Originally I was going to breed with Ragnar and then get him vasectomised, but now I've opted to keep Ragnar whole as a second buck with Spike, and this new one I'm getting, the plan is to get him vasectomised. But I'll work him first, and if he's a better working ferret and a nice type and he's got better traits, then but one of them's getting vasectomised out of the 3 bucks that I'll have. Certainly won't be Spike. And I say that mainly because he's black-eyed white. Tell you, she's such a friendly ferret. She's looking around for somewhere else to go down, and I don't mind that. And back down she goes. So she's definitely improved. Because like I was saying, the last time that I had her out, she did a lot of this. She'd come out and wouldn't go back down, even when you put her on the hole. I missed it. Now she's looking for somewhere to go down. That's good. I think I went down that one. Tilly's working a little bit better now. Came up here, went straight back down. Came up here, went straight up there. Came straight back down. There's the general. So Tilly's been down a little bit now, and a few minutes on her own, because the Jen will come up here and she still stay down, and that's what you want, because now you know that she's hunting. She's not just going from hole and walking out, from hole to hole and just walking out there. So there's still a kid or two left in here. Might drop lags in just to kill these young ones a bit quicker, so they can't run around in circles so much. Hey legs, here's Lagatha, General. Move fleet. General back down. I might just drop her in over here. There was a hole over here. So we've got to watch her on walk, and some of these holes are covered with grass. Very easy to fall in and snap your leg. Nothing, that just goes straight through. Off she goes. Is Shane's sheep. I think the owner's name is Shane, I can't remember. I've got his name and number in my telephone. I spoke to him. He's a new property owner. And here one of the ferrets there, maybe two. And he's got a few sheep out here. I took a walk in that tree line about 2 weeks ago. There's a couple of burrows out there, but nothing spectacular. So I've been on this burrow for about 15 minutes now, and Tilly's been down for about 5, so that's good. I'm glad she's not just walking in and out. It's a good thing. And when you get a ferret that starts slow, and I call her a slow starter, sometimes that's all it takes is a kill or two underground to spark their enthusiasm, and you notice the next time you take them out, they're off and going. Their mind's on the job straight away. It's more so in the really, really friendly ferrets, the ones that like to be around people. They've been handled a lot and played with a lot. And what I mean by that is, if you get like a pet ferret and then try and introduce it, one that's been kept inside and the kids have been playing with it and it's around people every day, those type of ferrets, normally when you take them out into the field, yes, they've got natural instinct, and some of them will work from day one, but usually you find that they'll want to be around the person because they don't know what they're doing. So they'll go in the hole and they'll come out the hole and then come straight to you. And then you put them in and they'll go out in and out the next hole and then not have much interest in going back down. They'd rather stay above ground and play around your feet and have a bit of a sniff around out up above the ground, because that's what they're used to. But then once they get a kill or two underground and chase a few through the burrows, their instinct takes over, and then their natural prey drive kicks in, and they kick into gear and get their mind on the job a lot more. And Tilly certainly wasn't in that category, but she started a little bit like that. First time I took her out, she was okay, but the last time I took her out, she was a little bit like she was when I first got here this morning. This is the longest she's ever stayed underground, which tells me a couple of things. His legs. Back down. And you see all this playing that they do when they come out and they want to play. Usually, by the time they're 2, they settle down a little bit on that. You'll notice with Grace, she doesn't play all that much anymore. She's coming on 6 now, and also a couple of her siblings, Grace, even Jess and Tess, they're a lot less like that. But when they were younger, they were exactly the same. A lot more playful. As they get older and more experienced, they get very much work orientated, where their mind's a lot more on the job. They'll still play, but just not as much. I don't mind it. I like my ferrets to be friendly. With the experienced ferrets, what they'll normally do is clear the burrow first. Once they think that it's clear in their mind, when they come out, then they'll want to play with you. But usually it's all work first. Where did he come out from? Oh look, there's a burrow right over here. Right there. Came out here and back over there. Didn't even know that was there. Oh look, there's another burrow there. Be careful of that. Dot, 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 dot. Here comes the general. Dot, 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 dot. Back down. I do have purse nets, but they're over at the car. So that looks like another burrow just there. It goes that way, and comes out, goes in, comes out there at least, and God knows where else in that long grass. Look, 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 look. Oh, we know where that one is. Just a young rabbit run across there and then into that small burrow there. So when Tilly comes out, I'll put her straight in on that. That looks like a general. Yep. It's a beautiful ferret. Back down. So Tilly's been down for a while, that's good. That looks like Tilly. Dot, 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 dot. There's a big one. Good boy. Good boy. All right, mine. Fleet. Good boy. Good boy. Ferret's got him moving now. There's two little ones in there now. You see that mark on Fleet's back leg there? Bit of a cut. His big stick flicked up and hit him, and anyway I had him at the vet yesterday. He's actually on a course of antibiotics. He had a small cyst underneath on his stomach. His telly. That's good. Let's put her in on these little ones. Come here, Fleet. You look good. So they're perfect for training young ferrets. Come here, come. Good boy. Watch him. And I think there was at least two in there. All right. Let's see what she does. Oh yeah, now she's grabbing them. That's good. She's still nipping at them, so, but she actually did lock onto it then, so that's good. Just got to watch it because they can go over there too. There's legs. Just a general left. Good boy, Fleet. The dog's done a good job today picking up the young ones when they were trying to run from burrow to burrow. He's picked up a few, so that's good. Alright guys, I'll just wait for the general to come out now, and then I'll move across and do the other burrow. I thought I had the camera on then, I had it off, but anyway we ended up with 7 out of there. Just going to take them over here and drop them closer to the car. And I don't think I got it on camera, but a kit came out of the hole. I put Grace in. Kit came out of the hole. Fleet caught it, and when he thought I'd grabbed it, he dropped it, and Grace came out behind it and grabbed it above the ground and hung on to it, and then I caught it. Such a good ferret, Grace. Anyway, I'll drop these rabbits here in the shade, and then we'll go over and do that other burrow, and then I'll gut them all. Let's hope the hawks don't come down and pick them up. Alright, let's go do this. And what I will do is I'll leave that long net up, just in case any come out and try and run to it. There's another long net over there. And this one's here. I will put Grace back in. It's a bit of a shame I had the camera up then. I thought it was on, but in case you missed it, I'd put Grace in and spoke a little bit about the General. It's turned into a very thorough, reliable ferret. Catches a few more than the Jills underground, but has a little bit more stamina. And I spoke a bit about Grace. And it was obvious, it wasn't on camera, but when she came out right behind that kit that Fleet grabbed as soon as it came out, Fleet dropped it and she just dived on it above the ground and hung on to it, and then I walked over and picked it up. He's such a good, reliable ferret. But there's a hole there and quite a few up here. Maybe a dozen holes. So, I'll get Grace and Trixie. That's the General. Chase. Trixie. Not long enough. That's Grace. Trixie and Grace. Mother and daughter. Come on, Grace. Come on, Trix. Put one in there. Grace, straight down. Trixie, straight down. I'm going to stand back here. Grace. You can see what type of ferret she is. But if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you would have seen her plenty. And she's been spoken about plenty. There she is again. Back down. When you talk about good ferrets, they don't get much better than her, in my opinion. And her daughter, which is Trixie, is an absolute ripper as well. So those two are the standouts amongst mine. But there's not a lot between them, but they've got a couple of little traits that are good. I'm really excited to see what we get out of Ragnar and Trixie this year. And I'll be putting Spike over Grace. Probably the only two I'm going to breed. Maybe Lagatha. I might put Lagatha to Spike as well. There's Trixie. No Fleet. Playing with the dog. And down. Grace just came up there and went back down. This might not have much in it, this burrow. spoke too soon. Good boy. Made a mess of the net, mate, that's for sure. Just seen Grace then. She is. Hello, Gil. Good old Gil, hey. There she is. I'd say this burrow's just about done. Back down. Grace. Back down. So you can see the experience in Grace, how she is and how she works a burrow. She came up there, there, came back up there, came up there. She's come up out of every hole now except that one within the last 2 minutes. Oh, in that one. There she is. If I call her, she'll come. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Back. Maybe not, she's pretty keen. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Good girl, Grace. Try this one, mate. Should have put her in that one or that one. I'll try this one first. Haven't seen Trixie for a little while, so she might have got onto something. Got to watch her because she can get out and run off. Grace. There's Trixie. I just seen Trixie come up over there. Grace back down. Hang on, something going on. I thought I just heard a rabbit. a very big burrow and I don't really need to, but I might just drop Chase in as well, just to give her a bit of work. Hello Chase. Chase is the only pink-eyed doe I've got, and she's also one of Grace's siblings. Oh, definitely heard a rabbit then. No question. It sounded like a big bolt, a big rabbit. So there's a big rabbit in there. It's kicking here. Ferrets have got it. Ferrets have definitely got it right there. Well, that's a shame. Had its opportunity to bolt. But when you've got 3 jewels of their calibre and they're already on you, I don't like your chances. Alright guys, while they're killing that rabbit, because I know they've got it, I'm just going to change the battery in the camera, get back to you. Chase. Came up, straight back down. Maybe this rabbit will get away, let's hope so. But by the sound it was kicking over here, it didn't sound good. Trixie. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. Back down. Rightio, let's give these two a bit of work too. It's a lot of ferrets for a little hole like this, but the rabbits are now, they're so stubborn that they're not coming anyway. One. Ooh. Something happened then. I didn't see it, but rabbit came out there, ran in here. Back down. You see how stubborn they are. That rabbit is hole hopping now. Oh, when it ran back in, the ferret was right behind it and I heard it grab it. So Trixie's got hold of that one. There she is, move. Move, Fleet. Back down. What have you got in here? That's the general. In here you've got Tilly and Tess. Trixie. That's a girl. Trixie back in the box. Jess I just put in, and this is Tess. You can always tell Tess she's darker. So I've got Jess and Tess, Grace, Chase. to chase. Tell by her pink eyes. So there was a big rabbit in here, but they would have killed it. That looked like Tess. So I don't think we're going to get too much more out of here. And I'm probably going out again tomorrow to do a couple of small burrows not far from my place that I know are holding a few. And I'll take Storm out with Chewy and Fang. Yeah, I'll take out Chewy, Fang, Storm, Minnie and Chub. I'll take them out tomorrow. As these ferrets come up now, I'll start to pick them up. So they've killed at least one big one underground, and I would assume a few kids, because that big one that ran out here and back in, which I saw out of the corner of my eye, was a pretty large rabbit and looked like it was a little bit injured. That hasn't come out, so ferrets have probably killed that one too. And I guess I didn't get a lot of work today. I might just drop her back in. Come on, legs. Dot. So we got the General, Trixie and Jess back in the box. Jess and Kelly. Kelly, eggy boy. He's a good rabbit dog. He's a good rabbit dog. That's Grace. Alright guys, back at the car now. I've got all the ferrets back. I'm just going to gut these rabbits now, bag them up and put them in the car and take off and go home. So we did okay, like we didn't get a million rabbits, but we got a few. So no complaints. I don't know if this is coming out on camera, but people that haven't seen how I got it. That one's done. A lot of fat on these, that's good. A bit of fat on that. Nice rabbits. It's another beautiful day out in the field. And I always get asked about ferret finders and shovels and all that sort of thing, and I've got my own thinking on that. And you've got to question what the differences are between here and UK. UK, they can dig their ferrets out easily, we can't. So, and I've questioned many times, well, why do they use ferrets that stay on the kill that they have to dig out? I mean, there are reasons, like you don't leave many dead ones behind in the burrow. Well, over here the ants eat them up in about a week anyway, so they don't stay there all that long except the bones. And there's a burrow over there that I did 2 weeks ago, emptied it, and when I walked across here just before, there was 2 or 3 rabbits sitting on the exact same burrow again. And that was the burrow that Storm came out covered in blood, if you remember it. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? So if you ask me why is it that Aussies go out ferreting, never lose their ferrets, never have to dig if they don't want to. You know, like sometimes in winter and soft ground I'll take ferret finders, especially if I'm using bucks, because they kill a fair few more underground. And I'll use them. I'll use the ferret finders occasionally. But I think the main reason is why we don't have to use ferret finders is we adopted a breeding strategy in Australia where we bred ferrets that wouldn't stay on the kill. Yes, they've still got prey drive, yes, they'll still kill rabbits, but we kept breeding the ones with a trait that when they killed them and moved on. And we always feed our ferrets before we go out. So I think that's probably the main 2 differences. I could be wrong, and I'm open to ideas and what you think about why that is. If you're in the UK, maybe you could enlighten me or give me some information that I haven't thought about. So if you can think of something or you've got any comments about that, just write them down in the comments and we can share ideas. I mean, that's how we learn and grow, isn't it? So anyway, but that's my theory. I think we just breed ferrets with the trait of not staying on the kill after they kill the rabbit. And it is a trait. If you want to breed ferrets that stay on the kill, all you do is you keep all the ones that stay on the kill, keep breeding that line over a number of generations, and you'll ingrain that trait into the line, because it is a trait. And it works the other way too. You know, you can see it in all sorts of breeds, especially like in dogs. You see it with cattle dogs that have particular traits, like collies and heelers and kelpies. Now those traits that they have were through selective breeding. That's how they ingrained that trait into that particular breed of animal, through selective breeding. And you can do the same with just about any trait over a period of time. So we did okay today anyway, guys. Don't be shy to like and subscribe. Say hello in the comments. You know, it's always encouraging to me to know that people are actually enjoying the videos. You know, it gives me a little bit of motivation to keep doing them. So whatever you're doing in life, guys, make sure you enjoy, because it goes past just way too fast. Bye for now.